Just off of Elliott Bay, Safeco Field in Seattle, Washington. Game 2 of this 3-game set between the Rockies and the Mariners. Again, the Rockies beat the Mariners yesterday 4-2 behind 7 shutout innings from Chad Bettis. And tonight it'll be a pair of left-handers. The Rockies will send Johan Flande to the mound, and it'll be Roenis Elias going for the Seattle Mariners. There's Christian Adames. He's going to lead things off tonight. And we'll take a look at the rest of the Southwest batting order for Walt Weiss. DJ LeMahieu will bat second. Nolan Arenado third. Cargo, one of the few lefties in the lineup against the Southpaw. Willeen Rosario's at first base. Corey Dickerson will be the DH. Kyle Parker's in left. Tom Murphy, as we were chatting about, making his big league debut behind the plate. Brandon Barnes will bat ninth. And on the hill is Roenis Elias. He's 4-8, a 4.30 ERA. He's a native of Cuba. And you're going to see fastball, curveball, changeup primarily.
Yeah, 27 years old, and you think, oh, I haven't really heard much about this guy. He has made 17 starts this year. His 46th major league start for Seattle. But and it's going to be fastball, changeup, and a big curveball, sweeping curveball.
First pitch is in there for a strike on Adames.
And there's the usage that you'll see. And tries to strike guys out with the curveball. That's his go-to strikeout pitch. Fastball, opponent's hitting 309, changeup 198, curveball 181.
He's got a good build for a pitcher. He's 6'3" and a couple hundred pounds.
Defected from Cuba to Mexico. There it is.
He gets a strikeout on Adames, goes underneath his hand. So a 3-pitch strikeout of Christian. Here's the Mariners defensively. Some changes from last night. The veteran Franklin Gutierrez, who's always been known for his glove, he's in left field. Sean O'Malley, who showed up in the game late yesterday, he'll be in center field. Mark Trumbo's in right. Seager's a mainstay at third. I really like what Ketel Marte has done of late at shortstop. He's been in the big leagues about 6 weeks. Robbie Cano naturally at second. Jesus Montero at first. John Hicks again doing the catching. Well, 4 pitches, 4 strikes as LeMahieu takes strike 1. DJ was 0 for 4 yesterday, hitting just 176 in interleague play this year, which is shocking because he seems like he throws out 2 hits every night against everybody. 2 gone. And that'll bring up Nolan Arenado.
5 pitches in. Elias is not messing around.
Pitchers at this ballpark typically throw with a great deal of confidence that they can challenge hitters because this park plays so big. And as we pointed out last night, it's not that the dimensions are big, it's just how the ballpark plays. I mean, you're on the water.
It's like Petco, San Francisco.
One of the things you'll notice, and I don't know if that little pan truly gives it justice, but this is known as Coors Field West internally with some people inside the Mariners organization. If you look at it, especially looking back, say if you're in center field and you're looking back at the ballpark this way, the press level, the concourses, everything looks almost exactly the same to Coors Field. Now, Coors Field, which as we all know is a gorgeous facility, that's a strike, built in '95. This came along 4 years later.
Yeah, and right there, that's the shot you're referencing.
That, I mean, that looks exactly like Coors Field. If we showed you that shot and it didn't say, Safeco Field, it'd be hard to tell. Well, what a strong beginning for Elias as he strikes out Arenado. A 1-2-3 first. against the American League, 4-14 after the 4-2 victory. Let's take a look at the batting order for Lloyd McClendon. Up top will be Ketel Marte, one of their top prospects. He's hitting .263, and he most often does hit in that leadoff spot. Kyle Seager's having a terrific second half. He's at .274 with 24 home runs. He'll bat second. Cruz has 40 home runs. Robbie Cano, big second half. Franklin Gutierrez will bat fifth. Trumbo, Montero, O'Malley, and Hicks against Yohan Flande, who is 3-2.
And one of those wins came against the Mariners back in Denver when he came in relief. That was the game that Michael McHenry hit the walk-off home run to propel the Rockies to a victory in 11 innings. He wanted to get back. He coming off a rough start against San Francisco. Pitched a season low for just 4 1/3 innings, 6 runs, 8 hits. Gave up the home run to Buster Posey. But that was his first loss since he moved into the rotation back on the 28th of July.
2-0 pitches line to Christian Adames. 1 out. Here's the Rockies' gloves tonight. Again, Jose Reyes still battling some soreness in his left Achilles. So it'll be Adames at shortstop. Parker, Barnes, Gonzalez in the outfield. Arenado, along with Adames on the left side. DJ LeMahieu, Willeen Rosario, Tom Murphy in his big league debut. Now, he's worked with Yohan Flande, not only in Albuquerque, he worked with Yohan Flande in New Britain because they both started the season in New Britain. And then Murphy went and played for Jim Tracy and Team USA in the Pan American Games, which he enjoyed immensely. And when he was finished with that, he was moved to Albuquerque. Flande was called up from Double-A because he was dominating the Eastern League. Rockies had an 80, came up. When he was sent back out, he went to Albuquerque and then was summoned from there the next time. 2-0's in there, 2-1. Home plate umpire is Clint Fagan. Jordan Baker at first, Paul Emmel at second, Jerry Meals at third.
I'm sure that helps Tom Murphy too, knowing that I've got somebody I'm familiar with in my first big league start. I know what he throws. I'm not sitting back there wondering how much is this ball going to move, because it's still there from where he caught him earlier this year.
Yep, nice comfort level, and those are things that don't happen by accident. Walt, I'm sure thought, I know he thought it through when he wanted to get Murphy in there. And obviously, you want to get him, a young kid, top prospect. You want to get him in there pretty quickly, and it matched up nicely in that he had worked with Flande. 3-2. That's a low target, and this ball is in the air to Cargo, and he barely has to move. 2 outs. So that'll bring up Nelson Cruz. This stat I'm going to throw at you probably is not surprising. As a DH, he's hit .274 with 9 home runs. As an outfielder, he's hit .337 with 31 home runs. And the reason I say that is DHing is not easy. You have to keep the body warm. You may go 40 minutes or so between at bats. Some guys used to ride stationary bikes just below the dugout, go up and hit quite a bit in between. But it's like you get 4 ABs, and then you're watching for the better part of 3 hours. And
that's why guys that are DHs or good DHs are typically veteran guys. David Ortiz, they had one of the best ones here in Edgar Martinez.
And now he's their hitting coach.
And their hitting coach. And talking to Edgar about it, he said, I just try to clear my mind after a bat, not sit on it for 40 minutes before I went to my next one. Well, it's like what you would do if you were out there playing in the field. You have to clear your mind of your at bat. There's Edgar. Took over after 68 games this year.
Swung on and missed 3-2. I always have said this in comparing how tough it is mentally, say, baseball to basketball. If you miss a layup, you're angry, but you can go down the floor, you defend, and you get some of the aggression and frustration out that way. Yeah, and then who knows, a minute or so later, strike 3, you may have another layup opportunity. In baseball, you have a bad at bat. at least maybe you can go out on defense. You hope not to carry it out there. But if you're the DH, you're sitting there. Anyhow, those are the numbers. Better when he's playing the outfield. No score. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your hometown Toyota stores. Toyota, let's go places. By Office Liquidators, offering Colorado's largest selection and lowest prices for new, used, and refurbished office furniture. And by Southwest Airlines, book your low fare now at southwest.com. Safeco Field in Seattle, no scores. We go to the top of the second. And for the Rockies, it'll be Carlos Gonzalez, Willeen Rosario, and Corey Dickerson. Roenis Elias, 27-year-old's first pitch, wide of the strike zone, ball one on Cargo. 0 for 3 and an intentional walk yesterday for Carlos. 270. Slugging percentage among the leaders in the National League at .556. And this is a bouncing ball to the third baseman, Kyle Seager. One out. That'll bring up Willeen Rosario, who wants tacos. You know the drill. When the Rockies score 7 or more in any game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the following day. Make sure you do it between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special.
I'm going to have to come up with another notation in my book for when the shift is on and it's a 5 to 3 other than just from memory.
You know, I have one I used yesterday. It's so funny you say that for the first time. I did the old, you know, when you were keeping a book, say, for one of Cody's teams, one of your son's teams, and we've all done that, and you put a little arrow, usually with the other team, because you wanted to know where guys hit the ball exactly, especially if it was on a hit. So yesterday, I did it a couple times. I noted that it was a right side ground ball, but it was 5-3 or 6-3, whatever it was. And I hadn't done that all year, so it's really strange, Jeff, that you mentioned that tonight.
We've been working together for 10 years now, I guess. That's why it's so strange.
I think that has something to do with it. How about the Rockies? 6-4 over their last 10 games, 6-4 overall also. Going back to the homestand, 3-2 so far on this road trip that began with a 4-game set in San Diego. 2-1 on the baby bull.
Just noticed with Elias that he has changed his position on the rubber. For when Cargo was up, he was on the first base side. Now with the right-handed hitter, he's more in the middle to right side or third base side of the rubber. Now we'll watch after, because Corey's up next, see if he slides back over the 4 or 6 inches on the pitching mound.
3-2. That's a pitch you got to lay off with Elias. That's what he struck out Adames with, that pitch in that location. 3-2 on Wallin. He went back to it, and they said he went. I don't know. Jordan Baker punches him out.
Did he go around? It's
flip a coin. I'm telling you, it's really a flip of a coin.
You know, we talk about that, and then, you know, the one thing that you hear from that angle, it looked like he kind of held up. But I've heard umpires say the intent. Well, your intent all the time is to swing the bat, but you're trying to hold up at the end.
I've heard umpires say that.
Yeah.
And to me, that doesn't make any sense, because your intent is, yeah, I'm going to swing, and then your intent is, no, I'm not going to swing. Nobody says if their intention's not to swing, they don't move the bat forward.
This is on the first base side. So some pitchers don't like that. They don't like to move back and forth. But he's trying to do it so he creates a different angle to each hitter. For the left-handers, it feels like it's coming from your hip, your front hip. So that's why he moves over and gains any advantage that he can.
Ball and a strike on Dickerson. Corey had a long home run a couple days ago in San Diego. First home run since returning from his third stint on the DL. And I think whenever a young player has a year like Corey has had, with, you know, the plantar fascia twice, the broken ribs, you just can't wait till the next year to get out and play a full slate of games and do what you're capable of doing. And we know he can put up large numbers when healthy. Bad English. Don't let me do that again, Harry.
I won't.
Okay, thank you. Rockies fans, join in on the conversation. Send us your thoughts, photos via Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. Make sure you include the hashtag Toyota Talk. We'll try to get some of those comments in during this evening's broadcast. Robinson Cano is at the plate, and he takes ball one. Cano, before the All-Star break, hitting just .251 with 6 home runs. Since the All-Star break, .322 with 9 homers. And he may hit another one right here. That is long gone off the facade of the second deck. When we run that replay, you're going to see Robbie pull his hands in, and he absolutely turned on that. That has been one of the issues for Yohan Flande. It's now 12 straight games he's given up a home run.
And talk about a long one. Robinson Cano now. That's 50 extra base hits. Fifth time a Major League player has done that in his first 11 seasons, or 11 straight seasons. And you're right, Drew. He pulled those hands in close to his body. And quick.
It's 223 career home runs for Cano. To give you an idea of what Huey just described and how truly amazing that is, 50 extra base hits or more in 11 seasons. Carlos Lee, El Caballo, since retired, did it in 13 straight. Albert Pujols his first 12 seasons. Eddie Matthews, we were talking about Eddie yesterday because he and Spilly went to high school together. The first 12 years. I hope Spilly was listening. Paul Wainer, his first 11 years. That's it. The guys have recorded 50 or more extra base hits in each of their first 11 seasons. 1-2, and that's a foul tip and a strikeout of Gutierrez. So Flande comes back with the strikeout, his second, 1 out. That'll bring up Mark Trumbo. Robbie Cano does everything in a somewhat effortless manner. When he fields a ground ball, it looks like he's almost being nonchalant about it.
But he's not.
No.
He has that special gift.
It looks easy for him.
Some players have it, and then you'll hear people say, "Oh, he's lazy," or he doesn't. No, he just doesn't have to do it in a hard fashion like some other players have to.
That swing looked pretty effortless, also. Outside on Trumbo. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ground ball, foul.
Calling all college students. College night at the ballpark is Friday, September 18th. Package includes a game ticket and sunglasses. Visit Rockies.com/college.
Here's the 1-2 from Flande to Trumbo. Breaking ball swung on and missed. So that's 3 strikeouts. Well, I like how he's responded from that home run.
Get back-to-back strikeouts to Gutierrez and now Trumbo. Got away with a pitch, a slider. See Murphy, Tom wanted it down and in. It stayed over the middle part of the plate. Sometimes that happens. You get a swing and a miss for a strikeout.
Here's the big affable Jesus Montero. Really a great kid, a guy that came up with so much promise in the Yankees organization, sent to Seattle, and they realized that the long-term, I suppose, his future was not behind the plate. Similar to how the Rockies finally arrived with Willie Rosario and felt like his future long-term wasn't best for him or for the organization for him to continue to catch on a regular basis. They came to the same conclusion with Montero. Now, he can hit. Hasn't done a ton of it at the big league level, but he was the Tacoma Rainiers MVP this year. He put up silly numbers in the PCL.
But because he's not that catcher, they're still looking for one. They thought Zunino would be the guy, but they didn't even bring him back after they sent him down. He's an instructional league now. Yeah,
and Zunino's another one of those guys. This is a top 3 pick in the draft. So you go and get Montero from the Yankees. That doesn't pan out in terms of catching. You go and draft Zunino, who was the top catcher in that draft when he came out, and that really hasn't panned out. 3-2. So is it the selection of guys, or does it speak to how difficult it is to be a really good two-way catcher at the big league level?
I think it's a combination of both. It's hard to be a two-way catcher. That's why they're valued so much, like a Yadier Molina. I mean, he's the top of the list. But you're first, you have to be able to handle the pitching staff. That's what any manager will tell you, and then your offense is a bonus.
That's why I believe you in, and I think you'd agree with me, that a guy like Russell Martin, who you figured, man, 4 years from Toronto, that's a lot of years for a guy that's kind of an elder statesman. But to find a guy who can hit and catch and lead, that's why Martin got the big deal this year going back to Canada and Toronto.
No doubt. 100% I agree with that. It's a hard position.
It's hard to play virtually every day back there. The grind that is the big league season, you're never healthy because you don't even come out of spring training healthy. You've caught so many bullpens, your thumb hurts. You probably have, you have bruises all over your arms and thighs from blocking balls. Then you start the season. 2-out walk to Montero. This is Sean O'Malley, and this is sharply hit. Nice pickup, Adames. He'll get the force to DJ. Well done by Adames. In the inning, Robbie Cano hits his 16th of the year, and it's 1-0 Mariners.
Kyle Parker to come up to the plate.
And here is Kyle Parker. Thank you, Spilly. Kyle batting in the 7th spot in the lineup. His good buddy is Russell Wilson. Russell not in town right now. He's got a business trip to St. Louis.
Something about a game tomorrow. I don't know. The Rams of St. Louis.
I imagine he's got a pretty nice place to live here in Seattle. I've got to ask Kyle if
he just bought a new place.
He opens it up.
Bought a new place, about $7 million worth of new place.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That'll get you some nice dishes and tablecloth, perhaps. Places to watch the game.
Candlesticks.
Yeah. Yeah, he signed a deal that pays him 21 point something a year. Here's the 0-2 on Parker, up high, 1-2. Kyle has hit one of those snags that young players sometimes go through. He's 1 for his last 31, trying to battle his way out. And at first base, Jordan Baker says he went around. So that's 5 strikeouts. He has struck out, talking about Elias, struck out 5 of the first 7 he's faced. Guys were saying, Huey, during BP, you were mentioning this as well, that they weren't picking the ball up well with the slightly earlier start time.
And we still have about a half hour to go before where it would start like last night, but they weren't. They were saying it was so hard, but even with the backdrop, the lighting, it just didn't seem like a normal time. Now the sun's starting to go down, so I think you should be able to pick it up, but I think it has to do with the curveball.
Well, first big league at bat for Tom Murphy. Here's the 0-1, and he swings through that, and it's 0-2. Again, Murphy between two levels hit 20 home runs this year. At a West Monroe, New York, a Western New Yorker, and he stayed at home, went to school at Buffalo. Outside, 1-2.
520th player to appear for the Rockies.
Spill, you know that, a guy like this, he's a little tougher growing up in Western New York.
A little tougher, huh?
Yeah.
You know what's great? Tom Murphy told me a story. He's coming back trying to pick up a buddy from the airport, and on the way he saw, because his family loves to hunt, so there was a animal on the side of the road that he decided on the way to pick up his friend to pick it up because he's also into a little taxidermy. And as I've alluded before, and there's a strikeout, Tom Murphy picks up the animal and stuffs it. That's how tough he is.
Yeah, I don't know much about taxidermy, but that's what they do. They stuff animals. So Tom Murphy, in fact, his dad couldn't be here. His dad's finishing up a hunting trip he was scheduled to be on, Huey.
And still doesn't have cell service, so he's not sure how this game's even going to be going.
He's in Canada.
He's in Canada. We talked to Tom. Said, anybody going to be here? He said, no, my dad's hunting. My mom has to stay at home, run the business. But they hope to be out in Denver. And the Rockies get back there.
Brandon Barnes, 4 straight strikeouts for Roenis Elias. 1 ball, 1 strike on Barnesy. He dialed up 94 on that last fastball. Well, that had a lot of sink on it. I think that's his changeup, 1-2.
Comes the curveball.
Wow. You talk about dominant through the first time through the lineup. 7 strikeouts. 1-0 Seattle. John Hicks is going to lead things off in the bottom of the third inning for the Mariners. They have a 1-0 lead on a Robbie Cano home run against Johan Flande. And Flande's first pitch is fouled straight back.
Hicks is going old school with the stirrup socks. He's trying to break
the stripes.
Well, he's trying to break his luck. He's just 1 for 16.
He reaches down and hits it in the air to left, and coming on is Kyle Parker.
He got 1 for 17.
That'll bring up Ketel Marte. Make sure you tweet us your strongest fan photo. Do it right now. Use the hashtag RMDataStrongFan. We'll try to get you in an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. Ketel Marte lined out to shortstop his first time up, and he takes strike one.
When he leads off, the Mariners are 20-14.
Descalso was in the starting lineup again yesterday, so now the Rockies are, 13 games over 500 when Daniel starts. In the air, right center field. Cargo got a good jump, but center fielder Brandon Barnes calls him off. 2 outs.
If you're wondering, there's nothing wrong with Charlie. Charlie Blackmon's just fine, but the Rockies are going to face 5 left-handers in a row.
How about that?
It's hard. Maybe Charlie will be back in. It's not like he's sitting just because there's a left-hander, but you need to work everybody in when you're facing that many in a row.
Kyle Seager, speaking of guys that can hit guys left on left. Kyle Seager has 24 home runs, and 12 of them have come against left-handed pitching. He leads the big leagues in home runs among left-handed hitters against left-handed pitchers.
He's just 1 home run shy of tying his career high, which he set last year at 25.
He has the most home runs against a lefty for a left-handed bat since Junior. Ken Griffey Jr. hit 21 in 1998. Last night it was a 3-0 game. He came up against a left-hander, Christian Friedrich, with a man aboard, and he hit one out to center field to make it 3-2. Rockies had to white knuckle it for a little bit. Trio's in there, 3-1. Fouls this off.
You could see from that swing, just fouling it off, why he can hit left-handers. Just nice and relaxed, and then his hands come up as that foot goes down. It keeps the right shoulder engaged and keeps it locked in towards the pitcher.
Here's the 3-2, and this ball's well hit, right center field. Barnes going back, Cargo's going back. Barnes will field it on a hop. It'll be a double with 2 outs for Seager.
Just talked about Seager not being fooled, not being afraid of a left-hander, but also the strength of Kyle Seager. He caught that towards the end of the bat, not on the sweet spot directly, but more towards the end, and still powered it out to right center field towards the warning track.
Nelson Cruz caught looking his first time up. The 1-0 to Cruz. Boy, did we ever hear an interesting story from Jose Reyes about Nelson Cruz. They're good friends because they came up together. They were signed a year apart out of Dominican Republic by the Mets organization. And Nelson Cruz, at one point, they always knew he had a lot of power. But what did Jose tell us? Said he was struggling so much with the bat at one point. They said, listen, we're going to give you one more year, and then we're going to put you on the mound and see how you do there, because you got a big arm.
And what did he do? He went out and hit 40 home runs.
I'll be a hitter, thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to stay there because I don't want to pitch.
2-1. That's a base hit, and that's going to get Seager home. And the Mariners take a 2-0 lead. 85th RBI for Nelson Cruz. I'd hate to have been the scout that decided to flip him to the mound.
Tough to find power and above average power, and that's what Nelson Cruz has. Now, this isn't a home run, but he powers it through the left side of the infield. Came into the game hitting .358 against left-handed pitching. That number will increase. 85 RBIs. First 10,000 fans through the gates for the Rockies Pirates game on September 22nd will receive a coupon for Hebrew National Dollar Hot Dog. Get your tickets now. Don't miss out. Coupons to the first 10,000 fans.
So Robbie Cano with 2 outs. Boy, did he run into one in his last at bat.
Hold the hands in close to the body, quick swing, drop the bat like Cargo does when the power guys know they hit it. You just admire it for a moment.
Well, the guys who don't hit him that frequently, they tear around the bases until the second base umpire's wiggling his fingers says, "Slow down,
slow
son."
down. But then what do? Do you shift it down in gear so you don't run around in 8.2 seconds?
Yeah, you want to enjoy it a little bit. Blonde has run into trouble with 2 outs. Double, single, and he's 3-0 on Cano with Gutierrez behind him. Four-pitch walk. Cano goes to first, and that bumps Cruz to second. Struck out Gutierrez last inning. With every challenge called, the Subaru Eyesight Review will determine the outcome. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. And that catches the inside corner. Gutierrez hitting above .350 his last 22 games, but he's been out with the groin injury of late. He did make an appearance last night as a pinch hitter. And that's on one hop to DJ. He and Cano played a cat and mouse game.
At first.
Yeah. First he didn't think he'd have time to beat Cano to the bag. He was going to throw it across, and he said, wait a second, he slowed down, I'll run there. Giants have 4 guys that hit their 500th when they were wearing the Giant uniform. Now the Red Sox have 4 as well, with Jimmy Fox, Ted Williams, Manny Ramirez, and Ortiz today.
34 on the season for Ortiz.
That's a line drive base hit, Christian Adames, and he ends that string of 5 straight strikeouts by Elias. First base runner for the Rockies. Colorado trailing 2-0. That'll bring up LeMahieu. How about this one from ESPN Stats and Info? Players hit 500 home runs and have 3 rings. Babe Ruth, Reggie Jackson, Mickey Mantle, David Ortiz.
Legendary names on that list.
David Ortiz, a Hall of Famer, and it was cemented today by hitting .499 and 500. Spilly, what do you have?
Well, you mentioned a famous list of 500. Back in the day, Jim Thome joined the 500 home run club. And during spring training, I ran up to him and I started a collection. So I had Frank Robinson. I was starting my 500 home run club. So I ran up to Jim Thome and said, "Do you mind giving me a signed baseball and make 500 home run club?" And he said, "Sure." So he sprints in during stretch, and during the stretch time, comes right back with the ball. Jim Thome. And years later, he ends up hitting 600. So I asked him again. I was like, "Hey, now that you're in the 600 home run club, can I get a 600 home run ball?" Sure. Same thing before stretch. During the game, he runs in, signs a baseball, and I got it both times within like 2 minutes. So I have 2 Jim Thome balls.
You're actually happy. This has got eyes, maybe. Nope. Look at that. That's why Robbie Cano may be in the Hall of Fame one day also, not just for his prowess hitting a baseball. How easy did he make that look?
Too easy. Because it's not easy like he did. Catches it, just a flip out of the glove. And what I appreciate most is a shortstop, when that second baseman flips you the ball like that, sometimes it'll get stuck in there and it'll come at you extremely hard. But he softened it up and just fed the shortstop so he could just grab it and throw it to first. I mean, I'm in awe of Robbie Cano at times, just watching him play the game.
He plays it. Everybody's playing it with their hair on fire, and he's playing it like he's got air conditioning all around him. Sliding catch in center field made by O'Malley. That ends the inning as Nolan lines out. The Rockies got a base hit from Adames. That was wiped out quickly. 2-0 Seattle. very famous Pike Street Market. Time now for the Coors Timeless Moment. Here's the Pike Place Market. Some facts. Opened in 1907. Farmers and craftspeople sell goods year-round. You can rent space there. Over 10 million visitors come to the market each year, making it the 33rd most visited tourist attraction in the world. That you probably didn't know. I certainly didn't know that. I know it's always packed when we're in there. And Spilly, you made your way by today, I understand, huh?
I was there today, and I also have some cold, hard fish facts for you, Drew. And part of them is because I went to the Pike Place Fish Company where they throw the fish, and on average, they're able to throw those fish as Mark Trumbo takes the ball. They throw the fish about 25 feet. So at the fish throwing place, they throw the fish 25 feet, 1,000 throws per day. They sell about 10,000 to 30,000 pounds of fish a day. Their largest fish ever tossed is a 45-pound halibut. And then today I strapped the GoPro on my face trying to catch one myself, and it didn't go so well. You know what? It's a lot harder to catch a fish than you think. They fly a lot faster. It's not like a regular fastball.
You were a major league outfielder. What happened on that?
They're slippery.
You didn't have a glove or batting gloves on, did you?
No, they give you a little piece of paper, and you're supposed to, like,
catch it as it goes by.
Yeah, and people told me I had hands like a dolphin, but, I mean, being able to catch a flying fish, I know. And that's my friend Michael. Michael was really worried because I took a fish to the face.
Did you get knocked out? A little bit?
Maybe slight concussion syndrome.
You have to go through the protocol.
Yep.
Somebody's reaching down trying to steal something from you behind you, by the way.
All right, well, I'm going to get the last laugh with that fish, and I'm going to get these kids behind me and scare them.
You do that.
So you're going to have a nice fish fry when we get back there, Spilly? Is that what you're saying, back to Denver?
You're not supposed to fry Atlantic salmon.
Oh, okay.
Jesus Montero just hit one a mile. And it is over Barnes' head and the wall. It is 3-0. Montero's third of the year. He's a strong man.
Well, you take it out to dead center field. Just to the left of the 401 sign. Brandon, gallant effort to try to reach that full extension and power coming through. Brandon gets up off to that wall. That still ended up 5-7 feet behind the outfield wall.
That's 13 home runs in his last 8 starts against Johan Flande. That's been one of the issues for Johan.
Well, his last 3 starts, he's 0-1 with the .691 ERA.
One and two on Sean O'Malley. Not a low throw, not handled by Rosario, and he's going to end up at second, maybe third. Here's the throw to third, not going to get it. And that's on Nolan. That's going to be a straight E5. That was not a difficult play.
Back-to-back nights for Nolan in an air. Comes and gets it. How long does it take for him to get rid of it? Oh, an extra 2 steps.
They're actually going to give him a hit, not a straight E5 hit, and then a 2-base error.
I think they might want to look at this again, because if he makes a good throw, he's going to be out. Any event, O'Malley hustles to third.
Listen, we know Nolan's the best fielding third baseman in the sport. Best, as I've said, the best I've ever seen. But you're not infallible out there. And that was more of a mental deal, don't you think? Here's a squeeze, and that's well executed. In fact, Flande needed to go to first there. They had no shot at getting O'Malley. John Hicks gets that suicide squeeze down, and it's 4-0.
Here's the squeeze. When the leg and when that front foot hits the ground, that's when you take off, and it helps that the pitcher's left-handed. But Tom Murphy is pointing to first base, so that's all on Johan, because Tom's saying you don't have him here, throw to first, get the out, and he didn't. So squeeze comes on, you just have to get it down. Tom's pointing. He's pointing the whole way. Be a sacrifice RBI for Hicks.
Yeah, home runs and then a sloppy play on the O'Malley quote-unquote infield single. He feels worse about it than Nolan, I'm sure. That's 3 straight games that he has committed an error. He may not have a stretch like that again in his career. Marte fouls it off. '21-year-old Ketel Marte, line out and a fly ball to center field. David Hale's gotten up for the Rockies. It's fouled off.
"70 pitches in. Within the first inning for Johan. He's given up a run in every inning.
This ball line foul. One out, Hicks at first, and this is bounced foul. Ball through the middle, a base hit. Home run single, suicide squeeze, and now a base hit for Marte. Starts to be a situation when Hale is ready for Walt Weiss.
I'm sure Walt's saying, well, I'd like for him to face the left-hander. Is he going to be ready out in the bullpen? But Seager just had a double off him the last time he faced him. A different role for David Hale. He's been used to starting, so for him to try to get ready faster is a challenge.
And Seager pops it up. Infield fly rule in effect. 2 outs. 2 gone, and that'll bring up Nelson Cruz. Find the latest Albuquerque Isotopes jerseys, t-shirts, novelties, plenty more at abqisotopes.com. Albuquerque Isotopes, the new and proud AAA affiliate of the Colorado Rockies.
Now we'll go to the bullpen for David to face Nelson Cruz.
So unfortunately, another shortish outing for Flande. He's gone after 3 2/3, trailing 4-0. Bench after 3 2/3, he's gone 4-0. He's responsible for the 2 men on base, and Nelson Cruz at the plate. Taking over will be David Hale. It'll be the 13th appearance for David.
A couple different appearances out of the bullpen. Last time was Sunday against the Giants. He has had previous experience coming out of the pen, but that was all with Atlanta. This year, and even down in AAA, it was in a starting role.
Cruz, sharp single to left to drive in a run last frame, so he is 1 for 2. 40 home runs, 85 driven in. Of his 40 home runs, just 14 have been hit at Safeco. But by Safeco standards, that's a pretty big number.
Home runs, second in major leagues. Chris Davis.
Chris Davis has gone off like Cargo has since the All-Star break. That's a strike, 1-1.
Cruz is also the leader in home runs in interleague play. David Ortiz on the list. Everton Castillo, who was a Mariner briefly.
This ball's lined to right. Long run out there for Cargo. He lays out and makes the catch. What a grab. Kind of a delayed reaction by Jordan Baker, the first base umpire, but Cargo saves maybe 2 runs with that diving grab. Look at this play. Season fun to drive forward, go further. By Southwest Airlines, book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Not going so well for the Rockies right now. They're down 4-0 as they come to bat in the top of the 5th inning. They've had exactly one base runner. That was Christian Adames leading off the top of the 4th with a single. He was quickly erased on a smooth double play started by Robbie Cano. So through 4 innings, Roenis Elias has faced the minimum, 12 hitters. Cargo grounded out to the right side his first time up.
For Elias, he's thinking 4 runs? You've given me 4 runs?
Unusual.
It is, because in 20 out of his 26 starts, he's gotten 2 runs or less in run support, and in 9 of those, they've been shut out.
Some of the worst run support in baseball this year. Cargo's in a ditch 0-2. And he dropped down a little bit, and Cargo had no chance. That is 8 strikeouts in 4 1/3 for Elias.
Season high in strikeouts is 10, accomplished against the Houston Astros on June 19th.
He struck out 5 in a row at one point between the 2nd and 3rd. Rosario struck out his first time. Pitched well against the National League, a 2.89 ERA in his career. 3-0. We haven't seen that before. Right, Jose Fernandez returned today for the Marlins.
16-0 at Marlins Park. For the Marlins, good for baseball to have him back throwing.
Three and 2. So Orlean gathers his thoughts. He's ready to go. 3 and 2 against Elias. Now Elias, well, you made me wait. I'm going to make you wait.
Well, John Hicks had called for a changeup. Elias wanted the curveball.
And the first walk from Elias tonight. So Dickerson will come up with a man on and 1 out. What a game by Chad Bettis last night. It bears repeating that he was dominant from the get-go. 7 shutout innings. What I liked about him was how aggressive he was with the fastball in the first frame. 95, 96. Dustin Garneau, we chatted with him. He noticed. And that really set up the rest of the evening. It set up the changeup, the real good slider. Kyle Seager was quoted after the ball game as saying, that guy, I didn't know a lot about him, but he's got really good stuff. I talked to Seth Smith this afternoon about what he saw. He was really impressed also with Chad Bettis.
And rightfully so, because he had that stuff like he had at the game against Philadelphia out in Philadelphia back in May. The good changeup, good slider when he needed it. And then the fastball at 95, 96 out of the gate. Because sometimes in the first inning we'd see 91, maybe 92. We wouldn't see that electric one. He had it last night.
And there was a growth moment in the 6th inning because there was some traffic out there. It was a zip game. And remember, he got Trumbo with a slider. Slowly hit towards second. Cano with his bare hand will throw out Dickerson. I'm telling you,
ho hum.
Yeah, I mean, everybody else is playing like this is a big league game, and he's so calm, cool, and collected. It's like he just rolled out of bed. And, hey, fellas, want to play a little baseball in the backyard? And I'm not trying to say he's nonchalant.
No.
It's just he plays like nothing's bothering me.
You and I were chatting in commercial break, and I told you about Omar Vizquel was that way.
Yeah.
Omar would play it differently than every other guy, and I remember playing Basio's no-hitter where the ball's bouncing on the turf and he barehands it. Omar does to get an out. Most guys would be saying, no, I'm not going to barehand it because I don't want to take a chance.
That play he made, that no was one of the greatest plays I've ever seen, because the ball took a bad hop.
It did, so he just reached up.
2-0 on Kyle Parker.
Threw out the runner. Omar Vizquel, Robbie Alomar. Those guys do it like Robbie Cano, or he does it like they did it. Either way, it's
the definition of making it look easy. This ball's top to short. And Marte throws out Parker. Rosario left the board after walking in the middle of the 5th inning. It is 4-0 Mariners.
Seattle Mariners started something different. They began using LED lights at Safeco Park. There's only one other stadium in all of sports, and that is the Glendale Sports Arena in Arizona that uses these LED lights. If you look at them, there's 578 panels. All of them had to be individually calibrated so they can have no shadows in this ballpark. It is pretty interesting. It now allows for 60% less energy consumption. I actually asked Jeff Bridich about it, and I said, are you going to ever have these at Coors Field? They're hoping in a couple years.
Cano's at the plate, and it's a fly ball to Parker in left. Yeah, they are a little different.
How would you like to be the guy,
the players
though,
care. I mean, you just want to make sure you can see the ball.
No, that's all that matters. Bottom line is, can I see the ball, or are there going to be shadows on the field if I'm hitting or if I'm fielding the ball?
Brandon Barnes says he can actually see better, and these lights are supposed to mimic daylight, which is pretty interesting. I feel like it's the middle of the day right now.
I was going to say, how would you like to be the guy that has to get up there and somebody down on the field with the walkie-talkie? No, you need to move it. I mean, I have a hard enough time when I'm at the house trying to make sure that a painting's level. And now you're talking over 500. Oh, you got to move it this way. You got to move it a quarter of an inch.
Look where those things are. I'm not getting up there.
Well, me neither.
I'll be the guy in the field. 4 inches right. This ball's hit really well to deep right by Gutierrez. It is gone. Franklin Gutierrez goes oppo, his 12th home run of the year. And the Mariners have a 5-0 lead. Their 3rd home run of the night. Cano, Montero, and now Gutierrez. This club can slug. You know, they have more extra base hits in the second half than the Toronto Blue Jays.
And now 174 home runs this season. They take a ball out to opposite field. Requires some strength, and it requires a perfect approach to hitting the baseball, because you have to stay behind it. You can't let the body drift or the hips get out in front of your hands.
1 strike on Trumbo. Strikeout and a fly ball to right. Nelson Cruz, Franklin Gutierrez. Mariners have scored in every inning except the first. Flande had a quick first inning. Line out, fly out, strikeout. He's gone now. David Hale came on to get the final out of the 4th inning.
With 174 home runs already, that's 8th on the Mariners' all-time list. They've hit over 200 home runs in a season 4 different times. The most was in 1997 when they hit 264.
But that was at the ballpark you played in. This is a tough pickup by Aaron. Not a long throw. And he takes a hit away from Trumbo, who had his 12-game hitting streak snapped last night. And for Mark, that was his career best. This was the most difficult play Nolan's had tonight.
But much like what we say about Robbie, he's able to make a play look routine. And he had to stumble on this one. His footing gave way when he went to cross over.
Montero hit a long home run dead center field in the 4th inning. He also has a walk tonight. And it's on the ground to Christian Adames. Pulls it to his chest, throws across, inning over. Home run by Gutierrez, and it's 5-0 Mariners. They've out-hit the Rockies 7-1. performance from Roenis Elias, and they've hit the long ball 3 times. Robbie Cano, Jesus Montero, Franklin Gutierrez. 5-0 Seattle as we go to the top of the 6th inning. Tom Murphy's going to have his second big league at bat, getting his first major league start tonight. He struck out in the 3rd. 8 strikeouts for Elias. And this is slowly hit up the first base line, and it's not picked up by Elias. It'll be an error on Roenis, so Tom Murphy gets to hang out on the bases for the first time in his big league career.
Number off the end of the bat, English on it, but Elias just misplayed that.
Spilly, what's going on?
Well, we mentioned Tom Murphy and his call-up, and most guys get called up because during season you have a manager call you in the office and say, congratulations, you're going to the major leagues. Not in Tom Murphy's case. The ball's taken outside. As we know, the season was over in Albuquerque, so when Nick Hundley was placed on the disabled list, they emailed Tom Murphy that he was getting called up. He got a phone call quickly by Zach Wilson saying, congratulations, you're going to the big leagues. 2-0. What makes this story interesting, his dad is hunting somewhere in Canada. He was supposed to go on the hunting trip with his pops, but his pops said, you know what, don't come. And good thing, because there is no cell phone reception where he is, and maybe Tom Murphy is somewhere in backwoods in Canada somewhere.
Yeah, that would have been really tough. You come out of the woods in a week or so, and 6 days earlier you missed the summons to the big league.
Tom was thinking, well, I wasn't called up, but I'm getting ready to go to the Arizona Fall League. So I'm going to have a small amount of time off before I report down to Arizona.
3-0 on Barnes. And a 4-pitch walk to Barnes.
I think Elias was, or is, rattled by that error that he made.
Well, Rick Waits wants to go out and check on him.
Follow the Rockies with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live Rockies baseball. At bat is up to the minute with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, StatCasts, and more. Get MLB.com at bat now.
So Christian Adames, who has the Rockies' only hit. I did not misspeak. He had a base hit leading off the 4th. And that's it for the Rockies' offense. Adames enjoying this second stint in the big leagues much better than he enjoyed his first. Last year he got called up late and he went 1 for 15 at the plate. 7 games. This year he's 8 for 17 since his call up. He's 3 for 5 as a pinch hitter. Done a good job in the starting lineup when he's been asked to go out from the beginning of the ball game for Walt.
But you could just tell from his body language he's much more relaxed.
I think it's just knowing what to expect, I would think, Hugh.
It is.
That's 3-0. Now all of a sudden Roenis Elias, who was beyond rolling, talking about a guy who struck at 8 in the first 4 in the 3rd. Can't find the plate.
David Rollins, the left-hander, Logan Kinsing, the right-hander. Well, they jumped up in a hurry. Both of them are trying to get loose as fast as they can out in the Mariners bullpen.
That's when the young catcher John Hicks looked over at his skipper Lloyd McClendon. He's like, go out, talk to him.
Go talk.
Right.
Slow this down.
And that's ball 4. So now the bases are loaded, nobody out. DJ LeMahieu coming up. Arenado with 38 home runs on deck. And Lloyd McClendon saying, what's going on?
8 straight balls from...
He may say go talk to him again.
Elias after the air.
Now clearly if the Rockies are to get back in this game, now is their opportunity. Here's LeMahieu. And he takes a strike.
DJ 4 for 9 on the season with the bases loaded.
Slowly hit to short, and they'll get the out at second. That's it. So a run comes in. DJ will get his 54th RBI. It'll be first and third for Arenado. And it's 5-1. Tom Murphy crossing home plate for the first time. Strikeout and a line out to center field for Nolan.
That's what that line out was, a great diving catch by Sean O'Malley.
Runner going, no throw, and a stolen base for LeMahieu, 22nd.
22 for 25 stealing bases for DJ.
That is a superb percentage.
Lloyd McClendon.
Yep, Lloyd's seen enough.
That's it.
You talk about the wheels just suddenly coming off. This kid couldn't have pitched any better the first 5 innings. And it just all came to an abrupt halt in the 6th. Have scored a run in the 6th. They have first and third with 1 out. Nolan Arenado coming up to face Logan Kensing. This is an interesting outing for Roenis Elias. He's gone after 5 1/3, but he was dominant for the first 5. He couldn't pitch any better. He struck out 8. He allowed 1 measly hit. In fact, he still has only allowed 1 hit. But he walked 2 guys in a row, and then he fell behind Arenado 1-0, and Lloyd McClendon came out. So Kensing will have a 1-0 count that he inherits.
Logan spent some time down in AAA with Tacoma. If you think back to the name, you might say, wait, didn't he pitch for the Rockies? Well, he did. One game in 2013, 2/3 of an inning. So you have to be a diehard fan to say, I remember that name when he pitched for the Rockies. But he has some other time with Washington, Florida, and now with Seattle.
So it's 1-0 after the stolen base, second and third. Arenado takes inside, 2-0. Fargo on deck. Good swing. So lefty up for the Mariners in their pen. They have 4 lefties at their disposal. This may be one and done for Kensing. With traffic out there in the 6th inning, and everybody's got 600 guys on their roster. Lloyd McClendon, Guaipe down there, may elect to. He's got Rollins on the left side. He's got Guaipe on the right side, but Rollins would be the guy I would think would come in to face Cargo. 3-1.
You can start matching up in the 5th or 6th now with the amount of guys that you have.
In the air to deep right center field. Trumbo goes back. He'll make the catch, and a second run will come home. Brandon Banks tags and scores, and DJ goes from second to third. And for Arenado, his 109th RBI. The only guy he trails in Major League Baseball is Josh Donaldson. 5-2.
Just keep chipping away.
And here comes McClendon, as we were speculating. Five to 2. Man aboard and 2 outs in the 6th inning to face David Rollins. Here's our Data Strong fan photo brought to you by T-Mobile. Rockies fans everywhere in the land. How about everywhere in the world? Paul Henley checking in from Budapest, watching online. Paul, thank you. You truly are a dedicated fan. Atta baby. 17th appearance for David Rollins, and of late it has not been pretty for David.
Been scored upon 8 out of his last 12 games. in 10 out of his last 16. So no, it hasn't. Rule 5 selection from Houston. 12th overall pick. That Rule 5 draft during the winter meetings. And Seattle had drafted him 2 other times. They liked him back in 2009. He didn't sign. They took him again in 2010. Didn't sign.
Cargo's chased that slider out of the zone a bunch in his last at bat, and that was against the lefty Elias. 0 for 2.
And the same type of slider for both guys.
That was well located, and it is 0 and 2. You got to figure it's coming
He's
again.
Gonna get it again. And he might get one every pitch this at bat.
I would be shocked if anything else showed up. There it is again.
Comes.
And Cargo rolls at the second. That'll end the inning, but the Rockies get a couple of runs, get back in the ball game. It's 5-2, middle of 6. Yeah, and Troy was enjoying his healthiest season in quite some time, so that is really unfortunate for Tulowitzki.
How many times we talk about it in a game? It's scary when an infielder's going back. You got a big crowd. You can't hear anybody yelling. Everybody's going for the baseball.
That's one of those unusual. You don't hear that kind of injury in baseball, and I would think. Again, I'm not a doctor, but he's not going to swing a bat for at least a couple of weeks, and then you have to wait till the thing heals, and then you slowly have to get back. You're talking about only 3 weeks left in the season before the postseason begins.
So then if he's able to come back, he's jumping right back into playoff baseball without a chance to go anywhere in rehab.
Yep, no place to go rehab. Sean O'Malley with a 3-1 count against David Hale. And that's on the inside corner, I should say. 3-2. Spilly, your take?
Well, I talked to Tula a lot, and obviously the frustration over the last couple of years of getting injuries. He always felt like he was been plagued, so he's done everything to try to swing and a miss right there. Good pitch. He's tried to do everything he can to prevent injuries, and like you guys said, that's a baseball play. And if you think about to the injuries that Tula has had, hit by pitch in the wrist in Minnesota, a diving play up the middle, it really is. I hate using the word unfortunate, but for a friend like that, it is unfortunate to see it over and over again.
Yeah, there are guys, for whatever reason, that just have bad luck, and Troy has had bad luck. Brett Anderson's another name that comes to mind of a guy that has had bad luck with freakish-type injuries. As we always said, it wasn't for lack of effort in trying to stay in shape and be in the best possible condition, period, because nobody worked harder than Tulowitzki. And you have one of those plays where you're going out and you have a collision, and hopefully he's able to get back on the field shortly. Here's the 1-1, 1-2 on John Hicks. 5-2 here. The Rockies trailing the Mariners in the bottom of the 6th inning. By the way, Madison Bumgarner is perfect through 6 innings against the Padres.
I know there haven't been more perfect games this year than other years, or more no-hitters. It seems like every night we're seeing it perfect through 5 or 6, no hit through 5 or 6, 7 innings. I wonder if it's just because of social media and Twitter and the instantaneous way we gather information.
Yeah, that's some of it. But we are, even though the hitters have counterpunched a little bit this year, that is strike 3. Good pitch. Hicks is gone. We are living right now in an era where the pitchers are really dictating like we haven't seen in some time in Major League Baseball, right at the knees.
Received well from Tom Murphy behind the plate.
Well, the best compliment we can give Murphy right now is we haven't noticed him back there.
Well, not at all. That's what you want from a catcher. Good low target.
Ketel Marte, slider on the outside corner.
David's going to that turn on the rubber like John Gray has. They're just setting up the just slight turn and then stay on plane to the plate. Speaking of John Gray, he'll match up Monday night in LA against Clayton Kershaw. Billy, you were talking about that the other day when you were broadcasting the game when John was pitching.
Well, and John, I actually had a chance to talk to him today about it. He's been working on it really in between the last 2 starts, and basically it's a forward step with your left foot, and the reason why is because he wants to stay straight. He knows when he takes a step back, he usually makes them rotational. And he said he falls over, and so he's not able to locate the pitch. Now, by doing this half step forward with his left foot, which is not traditional style of pitching, he says now it feels like he gets back on his back leg and then can get out over the top and keep on top of the baseball. So it's been a nice adjustment for him.
2-2 on Marte, changeup of beauty, and David Hale has struck out the side in the 6th inning. So we turn the page to inning number 7, 5-2 Mariners. to tell you about. But first, our Papa John's special, 50% off your online order the day after every Rockies victory. So you can go and call right now. The promo code is RocksWin at papajohns.com. Here are the changes. Danny Farquhar is now on the mound for Seattle. And at first base, Logan Morrison will take over. Morrison in the game now for Jesus Montero.
We're opting for defense at first base with the lead 5-2 at Danny Farquhar. In last night's game, 2/3 of an inning, 1 strikeout, 7 pitches thrown, 5 of them for strikes. Not overpowering, sit high 80s, low 90s. Cutter, fastball, curveball, changeup from Danny.
Rosario, Dickerson, and Parker in the 7th inning will lean a walk and a strikeout tonight, and that's fouled off. Rockies scored their 2 runs last inning without the benefit of a hit. Both runs were unearned. It's a strike. The error by Elias, and then that led to him melting down for a moment as he walked the next 2 guys on 8 pitches.
One hit was a clean single to right field.
That was leading off the 4th inning for Christian Adames. Well, the beautiful thing is, despite being outplayed in this game and outpitched, the Rockies are just down 3 runs as you look at Adames.
We still have 9 outs to work with.
No swing.
Cut.
Yeah, that was a healthy cut. See Valine taking ground balls at shortstop yesterday?
I did see that.
After he got his work done at
get
first.
Your work in somewhere else. Go have some fun. Heard of some infielders not liking that. You feel like they're going to tear up your area.
The greatest grounds crews in the business, they manicure these things pretty well. I really can't imagine that happening. You didn't like it, huh?
No, I didn't. It didn't bother me.
Strike 3 on the hook from Farquhar.
Everyone knew it. Valine knew it. Farquhar knew it. He threw it. Just about the time as it's going into Hicks' glove, he's walking off the mound. He's shaking his head, yes.
Dickerson a strikeout and a ground ball to second. Rockies at Safeco Field for the first time since 2006. Took 2 or 3 that year.
Be hard pressed to find any weather that's been better both years they've been here, both times in 2006 or this year.
Yeah, absolutely similar weather. When the Rockies were here in 06, it was 3 days of cloudless skies, and it's been the same so far here. That ball's hit to the gap in right center. And Dickerson, a hard turn, and he's galloping towards second, and the throw is not going to get him. So Corey with a double. Just the Rockies' second hit. 1 out in the 7th inning. Kyle Parker coming up.
He had to work harder for this double than the double he hit last night. Slider to Corey, and it's cut off by Sean O'Malley. Gets it back in. Tell that foot's still bothering Corey. Turned it on around first base.
11 doubles for Dickerson. One strike on Kyle Parker, a strikeout and a ground ball to short.
Rockies scored 2 runs last half inning, but they're 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position. The fielder's choice and the sac fly.
And he raises the fastball up and in and strikes out Parker on 3 pitches, 2 outs, and that'll bring up Tom Murphy.
Cano wanted the back pick because he had broke to the bag after that pitch.
It's off the end of the bat. That's what he did his last time up, but it was in play and it wasn't handled by Roenis Elias. So Tom reached on the error. He would eventually score last inning.
Understandable, your first at bat, your first game.
One and two.
The hard part about Tom and what he's going through is to trying to slow the game down. So badly want to get that hit.
You got a pitch to fire at there. Madison Bumgarner is now perfect through 7 innings tonight. At AT&T against the Padres. Good eye. Rockies trying to cash in that 1-out double by Corey Dickerson. Rockies had 11 hits in their 4-2 victory last night. Tonight, 2 hits. Farquhar ends up striking out the side. Dickerson stranded at second. Middle of 7, 5-2 Seattle.
crazy football town, and of course because of Russell Wilson. Well, Kyle Parker and Russell Wilson both got drafted in 2010. Russell Wilson was at North Carolina State, Kyle Parker at Clemson, and they became roommates at Asheville, and they built this great friendship.
He was my roommate during spring training, roommate when we played A-ball too as well. Just a phenomenal dude. To just he loves to hit. That guy can really crush the baseball. So I'm excited for him.
Interesting about that Asheville team, Christian Adames was on the team, Charlie Blackmon was on the team as well. And looking back at some of the numbers, Kyle Parker did hit. He had 21 homers there, 285 batting average, 95 RBIs. Russell Wilson, not so much. That same year, the year that they got drafted, they had a college football game against each other. It was Clemson versus NC State, and Kyle Parker's team beat Russell Wilson.
And there's a game day program from Clemson and NC State. That's pretty neat. Yeah, neither one of them tall quarterbacks. Russell Wilson probably closer to 5'10" than 6 foot, famously now, right? And Kyle Parker is a strong guy, but Kyle's only about 6 foot, maybe 6.5 inches.
Interesting part about their friendship is that you would assume two college quarterbacks would talk about football all the time, right?
That's what you'd think.
They never did. They just wanted to talk baseball.
There's a base hit for Kyle Seager. He continues to rake. So a leadoff single in the 7th for Seager in front of Nelson Cruz. 1 for 3, an RBI hit in the 3rd. Seager hitting .431 his last 17 games, including 7 home runs.
His baby brother's outdoing him tonight. He's 3 for 3.
Dodgers, huh?
Dodgers and 3 RBIs.
Dodger fans been waiting all year for that kid to come up. Rated one of the top 2 prospects in baseball.
Don Mattingly today said that when Jimmy Rollins is ready to go, he'll get his shortstop position back.
Well, they're getting ready for the postseason. This ball's hit a long way to left, and Nelson Cruz has hit his 41st home run. 2-run shot, and it's 7-2 Seattle.
Also his 87th RBI for Nelson.
He went down and got that, Huey.
Went down and got the slider. Some big pop, not a big stride. See how close his feet are together? It's not a wide base from Nelson Cruz.
Robbie Cano takes a strike.
Back to the side angle. Just picks the foot up and then puts it right back down into the ground. When that happens, it takes some upper body strength to also hit that ball out like he did.
Yeah, he's not short on strength. He now ties Chris Davis for the major league lead in home runs with 41. 41, also a new career high for Cruz. He had 40 last year. Cano's hit a home run today. 4 home runs for the Mariners tonight.
see a couple Rockies on that list.
2-2 on Cano. The Mariners have more extra base hits in the second half than any other team in the American League. And when I read that, it surprised me with what Toronto's done. Cano's out on a ground ball to Adames, and that'll bring up Gutierrez.
First 68 games for Seattle, they were hitting .233. They decided to make a hitting coach change, and they went from Howard Johnson to Edgar Martinez.
Let me ask you,
they're hitting .262 since then.
Let me ask you something honestly.
Yeah,
I know where I'm going.
Yeah,
do you think it had anything to do with that? And that's not a knock on Edgar, and in that I'm sure he's brought energy. I know he's brought energy, and gosh knows he's forgotten more about hitting than virtually anybody will ever know. Hojo was a heck of a hitter, certainly a heck of a power hitter. Do you think it had more to do with guys just finally came around and it seemed like it coincided with the timing of Edgar? Because to me, you know, you and Spilly were position players. You don't get here if you can't hit.
Totally agree with that. I do think maybe with Edgar there was a touch where he's helping out, where with some guys he just clicked. Because there is some hitting coaches that you'll go through that I mean, they all kind of teach the same thing. Let's be honest about it. Is okay, make sure you get your timing down. Make sure that front foot's there. Don't drift. Keep your hands back. Stay inside the baseball. All the lingo of hitting. But for Edgar, he's got this way about him when you're talking to him about hitting. And I was never around Howard Johnson, so I don't know. But I did play with Edgar. That I know that when he talks, kind of like E.F. Hutton, people are going to listen. And maybe it did help some of the guys to clear their mind. But when you got a street named after you right by the ballpark, that might be the final straw that says, okay, here we go.
Yeah. Guys aren't scrambling to figure out if you were any good.
Yeah, Edgar Martinez way.
You got everywhere you look, there's something named after you, right? 3-2 on Gutierrez, line to Nolan, 2 outs.
Take a behind-the-scene tour of Coors Field Group and individual tickets available year-round. You want to call 303 Rockies and go behind the scenes Monday through Saturday. Coors Field Tours. If you haven't done it, you need to do it.
2 outs, nobody on. Mark Trumbo 0 for 3. Hale sliders off the plate. We were talking about injuries earlier. You see where Drew Storen slammed a helmet or something into the wall or his locker, or punched the locker, broke his thumb, out for the year.
Not the first time that player has done that. It will be the last.
4-pitch walk to Trumbo. Jesus Montero has been replaced by Logan Morrison, and with Morrison coming up, I think Walt's going to go and bring in Rex Brothers. So Brothers will be aboard 7-2 Seattle. And aboard in the 7th inning. Rex Brothers will be throwing next. We'll tell you about that momentarily. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. It's the long balls tonight for Seattle. They've hit 4 of them. Robbie Cano hit 1. Montero. Gutierrez went opposite field, and Nelson Cruz with his major league time 41st of the year. A 2-run shot earlier in the inning. Mark Trumbo just walked. That ended David Hale's outing. James Jones is running for Trumbo. He's going to come in anyhow. They're sure to upgrade their outfield on defense in the final couple of innings. And Logan Morrison with his first at bat. He came in defensively last frame. He takes ball 1 from Rex. These are important weeks for Rex Brothers.
Very important. Second stint with the Rockies, so he wants to put that good impression down here in September.
Everybody in the organization wants to give Rex any benefit of the doubt possible. He just has to be more consistent throwing strikes.
That's what got him in trouble. That's what got him sent out, is not throwing strikes. The arm's still there. You'll still see the 95s, 96 miles an hour on the fastballs.
2 balls, no strikes on Logan Morrison.
Too many times for Rex has it been a 2-0, 3-1. He's working on a 3-inning scoreless streak. Pitched once in the San Diego series. 1 inning, no hits, no runs.
And a shattered bat that went into the stands. Hopefully everybody's all right. And DJ throws out Morrison. That ends the inning. A 2-run home run earlier by Nelson Cruz. And we'll go to the 8th inning. 7-2, the Mariners at home leading. Special when the Rockies do score 7 or more in any ball game. We're at Safeco Field. Drew Goodman, Jeff Hewson, Ryan Spilborghs. The Mariners leading the Rockies 7-2. Top of inning number 8. Brandon Barnes due to lead off. Carson Smith is the new man on the hill for Seattle. And they made some changes. They have a whole new outfield basically. O'Malley goes from center to left. James Jones is in center field, and Stephan Romero is in right. Jones was just pinch running a moment ago.
The new pitcher, Carson Smith. In the last 20 games, just a 202 batting average against for Carson. 2.66 ERA, 78 strikeouts in 61 innings. That's why he's been getting the late inning work, the 7th, the 8th inning setup guy. Now that Tom Wilhelmsen's back in their 9th inning role. Whoa, that's real. It's a unique arm angle. I'll just leave it at that. This is different. It jumps at you and flings it.
And a hard slider for a strike. Quickly 0-2 on Brandon Barnes. This kid's out of Texas State, alma mater of Paul Goldschmidt. He's from Midland, Texas. Went to Grayson County, which is a strong baseball program in Texas. Grayson County Junior College. And he was the Southland Conference Pitcher of the Year in 2010 and 2011. 1-2. And that slider was up in the zone, fouled off. He was an 8th round pick of the Mariners in 2011. 24,743 in the house this afternoon and evening. Earlier start time on the West Coast, 6 o'clock tonight, and a strikeout by Smith. The Rockies have struggled to make contact tonight. They have struck out a dozen times in this game. That's too many.
It is, and for Smith now in 8 straight games, total of 10 innings, he's had 12 strikeouts. Hasn't given up an earned run.
Christian Adames has been a bright spot offensively. A single and a walk tonight. And believe me, folks, that is a bright spot when you have 2 hits. So the fact that Christian's been on twice is cause for a mini celebration. Buenos Elias gave up 1 hit in 5 1/3. 2 runs the Rockies scored, both unearned. Kenson got a batter. David Rollins got a batter. Farquhar struck out the side and allowed 1 hit in his inning. And now Carson Smith, here's the 2-0 ground ball, smothered by Morrison, and he takes a hit away from Adames. That's a good play by Logan Morrison. You always feel good as a manager when you put in a guy for defense and he makes a good defensive play.
And one of the things that helped him out is he's left-handed, so he didn't have to reach across his body to make that play. He dove, stretched out that big, tall frame, 6'4", 6'5" for Logan Morrison, and comes up with the play. But you're right, managers are always looking for that edge. They put guys in defense. They put 4 different guys out there in different spots. It's from where they started the game once he had the lead.
LeMahieu fouls it off. Perfect game is done in San Francisco. Melvin Upton Jr., formerly known as BJ, with a base hit in the 8th inning. Outside. Some things crystallizing in Major League Baseball. Mets won again. Washington lost again. This is bounced up the middle with topspin, a base hit. So the Mets now lead the Nationals by 9.5. You talk about a collapse.
That was it. Give the Mets credit.
You got to give the Mets credit, and you have to look at the Nationals. So, whoa, what happened? Here's our CenturyLink link to what's next. Tomorrow, Kyle Kendrick, the Washington native, will take the mound here at Safeco against the lefty James Paxton, who is healthy again. He's had some finger issues. Nolan takes a strike. Nolan a sac fly his last time up.
The Mets in Washington, they're not even going to have to worry about playing those last 3 games of the season. They can just already start figuring out the rotation going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, they can throw Billy Bob, Jimmy Bob.
So you say they don't have to worry about Matt Harvey?
They don't have. Matt Harvey does not have to pitch in that series. No. Oh, 2-1-2.
St. Louis is starting to feel some heat.
The Pirates are right there.
2.5 back. There's the National League East. 9.5 game lead for the Mets.
And listen, any team would be in this situation. They're strike 3. The Pirates desperately want to win that division. They're tired of playing in the wild card. They've done it the last 2 years. They're 1-1 in that game. 7-2 Seattle. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By Mike Shaw Subaru, always our lowest price in sales and service guaranteed. And by Saratoga Casino, so new, so you. Spilly and Huey, that would be the Space Needle. When you think of the and when you think of the Seattle skyline, you think of what?
The Space Needle.
The Space Needle. There you go. 7-2 Seattle leading.
I actually think of Pearl Jam when I think of Seattle. Well, Rockies fans, if you're interested in your minor league teams, Asheville beat Savannah, and they are now headed to the South Atlantic League Championship. Tyler Chatwood started the game. He went 2/3 of an inning, 2 ground ball outs, a walk. Somebody came in and got the strikeout. But Luis Jean hit a 2-run homer in the top of the 8th, his first of the season, to send Asheville to the championship. That's exciting, don't you think?
Absolutely.
That's
awesome.
Sand Gnats, right? Isn't Savannah the Sand Gnats?
The Sand Gnats, yeah. I have Sand Gnat scars on my arm from back in the day.
That is terrific. Good news. The only Rocky affiliate that's in the postseason. Miguel Castro is on the hill now. Rafael Inoa is at third base for Nolan Arenado. Sean O'Malley at the plate has 2 strikes on him.
4th game this season with Colorado. Started the season with Toronto. You know about the trade with Toronto to get Castro.
1-2.
Native of La Romana in the Dominican Republic.
Do you know that's home of the Latin American Baseball Hall of Fame, La Romana?
I did know that.
I figured you did. Here's the 1-2 and the fastball at 96, and O'Malley's gone, 1 out.
Couple change-ups, and then the express. That was by O'Malley.
Johan Flande went 3 2/3, gave up 4 runs on 6 hits, couple of walks, 3 strikeouts. Another more difficult appearance for Johan. David Hale, 3 innings, 3 runs on 3 hits, a walk, 3 strikeouts. Brothers got the only hitter that he faced, and now Miguel Castro here in the 8th. 1-0 on John Hicks, and this is going to end up out of play. We're talking about how similar the feel is at Safeco Field to Coors Field. One of the differences is there's a lot more foul ground here at Safeco than there is at Coors Field.
It's the old stadium feel.
Yes. This ball's well hit to right. Cargo going back and will make the catch with a couple of feet on the warning track. 2 outs. Ketel Marte coming up.
The world's best barbecue competition teams will be at Coors Field Saturday, September 19th. You can purchase a barbecue ticket package to vote for the Fans' Choice Award, sample some incredible barbecue, and visit with award-winning cook teams. Barbecue Championship, Saturday the 19th. I know where I'm going to be that day.
Right there.
Right there, sampling some barbecue.
You know where you're going to be, to be precise. You're going to be right there behind me online.
I'll just push you out of the way to get mine first.
I'll box you out. Low man wins. It's a leverage thing. 1-0 on Marte.
I just want to make sure I get there before you eat it all.
That you should be concerned about that. Castro fires at 96 and it's fouled back. 1-1. Again tomorrow, we showed you it'll be Kyle Kendrick, the Washington native, taking the baseball for the Rockies against James Paxton. Boy, that was nice. That looked like a splitter.
Had that action of a split finger. Bottom just falls off on the pitch. He's going in, it dips down.
Yeah, that's not fair. Look at that slider by Miguel Castro. Yeah, throw your bat. Nothing you can do about that, Ketel. A strong inning, 1-2-3 for Miguel Castro, a couple of strikeouts. We'll go to the 9th, the Rockies trailing by 5. The left-hander. He's going to see Joe Beimel, who was at one point his teammate with the Rockies. Colorado trailing by 5 runs, and the Rockies with just 3 hits tonight. Single by Adames in the 4th, a Oh, there it is. I'm trying to. They're hard to find. Single in the 8th inning by DJ. The one extra base hit, a 7th inning double by Corey Dickerson.
46 game for Joe Beimel. Threw an inning last night. Had a hit. The first batter that he faced last night was Cargo. The first batter he'll face tonight will be Cargo.
Cargo, Rosario, and Dickerson due up. And this is bounced to short, 1 out. Vital Marte, the only guy on that side of the infield. So Cargo takes the collar tonight. He's 0 for 4. And Willeen coming up 0 for 2 in a walk. Doesn't look like Charlie Blackmon's going to get in tonight, and he had played in 119 consecutive games, which in this day and age is quite a run. It was the 4th longest active streak in baseball. The longest is a guy who homered yet again tonight. Yoenis Cespedes hit his 34th tonight for the Mets. He's played in 147 straight. He has. Technically, he missed a game, but you're allowed to when you're traded. In other words, he was traded from Detroit to New York, and in transit, you have, what is it, 72 hours?
72 hours.
To report. He didn't take all 72, but he did miss a game while he was getting there. This ball's pulled to the corner and left, and the Rockies are going to have another hit. It's ground rule double. So Willeen will go to second and have to pause there.
Well, that's a fair rule. The guy gets traded, give him a chance to get to his new ball club.
Right. So Cespedes, Huey, has 147 in a row. Cole Calhoun of the Angels, 131 in a row. Oh, excuse me. He's third because I left out Manny Machado. Manny's played in 141 straight. So it goes Cespedes, Machado with Baltimore, Cole Calhoun with the Angels.
But you're talking in the 100s.
In the 100s.
I mean, that's how it's changed.
Nowhere near that guy you played with.
Yeah, over 2,000 games. Some guy named Cal.
Dickerson at the plate. Corey 1 for 3. Getting that double in the 7th inning, his 11th of the year. I think I know I've asked you this, over dinner at some point in time. I don't think I've ever done it on the air. Was there at any point when you were playing with Cal where he came in the clubhouse and you said, man, you're sick as a dog. How are you going to go? Or maybe he sprained an ankle or something. You go, I wonder if he can go.
Not that year. I know there were some other years that he thought it was going to happen. There was a brawl one time, hurt his knee, wasn't sure if he's going to be able to go the next day, but he was able to gut it out. But even the night he broke Lou Gehrig's record, the 21-31 game, he came in with the fever that night over 100.
Really?
Yeah, but that was just his mentality. He got a couple games off early on in his career, said, I don't like that. I want to play every day. And that's how he did it.
Called a strike on the inside corner. I wonder at what point in time that it became the streak.
Well, it was.
Was it 600? Was it 800? I mean, at what point in time?
He knew even people, because he would be saying, hey, I'm not sure I could go today. And people say, what about the streak? So.
But, I mean, if you're at 800 games, which is a phenomenal length, but you're still, listen, dude, you're 1,400 games, or whatever it is, 1,300 games away.
What was Prince Fielder at? Over 800. Wasn't he? When he hurt the neck.
I think probably, correct me if I'm wrong, at that point, it's still more of a personal pride thing as opposed to, hey, only 1,300 more and you can get to Lou Gehrig.
Yeah, or another 7 straight years.
Yeah, I mean, come on. That's still just incredible to me. You got to have a lot of good fortune. I mean, we were talking about how Troy Tulowitzki has not had that good fortune. Got hurt again today. 1-2.
What I did learn from Cal, though, playing with him, is be on time, be prepared, be ready to go that night. I mean, there wasn't, you stroll out a couple minutes late for stretching or a couple minutes late for your BP group. You're going to be on time. You're going to go do it. And they had it. He's kind of running the team at that point. But you didn't want to disappoint him. You didn't want to be late.
1-2. And Corey went. 2 outs. Two outs, and that is strikeout number 13 tonight. Actually, that's 14. Kyle Parker, 0 for 3. A couple of strikeouts for Kyle. And a breaking ball, slowly hit. Morrison to first, in time for the out, and that ends the ball game. The Mariners dominate tonight. They hit 4 home runs, and they were outstanding on the hill, producing 14 strikeouts. They win 7-2 tonight. Elias gets the victory. He's 5-8. Flande takes the loss. He is 3-3. The Mariners now 69-74. The Rockies fall to 59-83. We go east to our Denver studios.